The curtains of night enclose Desmond Hall like a shroud. As Jean-Paul Desmond returns to the old mansion after going on an errand of mercy, it would seem to him that he will never be able to help another human being again, for all he touches turns to tragedy for those who dwell within these walls. And a new threat has taken hold with the arrival of the mysterious Agatha Pruitt.
It's so beautiful, isn't it? And the lovely ladies, and their extremely handsome gentlemen, and the orchestra. Oh, I do love the waltz, don't you? Why, thank you, sir. You're a very graceful dancer, too. I'm just all embarrassed by your compliments. You have no idea what it's like for a girl like me, who had nothing at all, to be your honored guest and the dancing partner of the master of Desmond Hall. It doesn't work. It doesn't really work at all. I'm alone. I'm not with Jean-Paul Desmond. Oh, Peter, pretend for 1 minute that I am a magic princess and grant me my wishes. Pretend that I'm very pretty and Jean-Paul has fallen in love with me, and bring him to me now. I won't hurt him, I promise. I'll just keep him very close and never let him go. If you send him to me now. But if you won't grant my wish, then I shall have to hurt him. I'm sorry, but I'll have to hurt him badly. Ready? 1, 2...
Agatha. Good evening, my dear. Am I invited to your party?
There is no party.
Oh, but you're dressed for one.
Yes, but there isn't any party, and there isn't going to be one. I had to have dinner alone in my room. Did you know that?
Miss Blair was very ill this evening. My wife thought trays in the room would be the best thing.
Where's Jean-Paul?
That's what I came to talk to you about. He went for a doctor for Miss Blair, but unfortunately the car broke down.
How do you know all this?
Oh, my dear, I know everything that happens at Desmond Hall. I also know where Jean-Paul is.
Where?
He's at a friend's house, a Mrs. Hatter. He wants you and I to join him there.
Oh, he does?
Yes. So you see, you'll have your party after all, and you will not have worn this gown in vain.
Oh, I don't know. Why didn't Jean-Paul call me himself? It isn't very polite for a gentleman not to request a lady personally.
These are very unusual circumstances, Agatha, but I assure you, you'll be treated as a lady all throughout the evening.
Well, I hope so, since I am all dressed up and everything. I made these dresses myself, you know, over a very long period of time, because I thought I'd need some beautiful things someday.
Very nice story, but we really should go.
Oh, just the two of us? Isn't Mrs. Thaxton going?
Mrs. Thaxton has a fierce headache.
Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps I could help her. I know of a wonderful way of massaging the neck that increases the circulation.
I'm afraid we cannot spare the time.
Oh, but it doesn't take long, and it works like a miracle.
Are you going to comply with Jean-Paul's wishes or not?
I have wishes of my own, you know, and they're not always answered either. So if he has to wait, he has to, that's all.
I'm beginning to be annoyed.
At me, Mr. Thaxton? Then you certainly aren't treating me like a lady. And you've already broken your promise. I never break a promise to anyone.
Very admirable, but Mrs. Hatter is waiting for us at the moment.
I'm not sure I like Mrs. Hatter.
You are behaving like a child, Agatha. Of course you like her and her friends. It's going to be a rather large party.
Really? Do you think anyone will recognize me? I mean, some of her guests may have seen me at the dressmaker's shop where I worked. But I think I've changed a great deal, don't you?
You certainly have. But let's get your coat. This is going to be an evening you will never forget, little Agatha.
Don't call me little Agatha. I'm not a child, even though you said I behaved like one. I'm not sure I should go with you.
But I insist.
You go to the party and tell Jean-Paul to get me.
I don't think he'd like that. You're in no position, my dear girl, to order Jean-Paul about.
Oh, but I am.
Agatha, have you found your little friend?
No, but I'm sure he's around. He'd never leave me.
A little snake. How can you expect such a creature to give you loyalty?
Peter does. Most of the time.
I fear your friend has been up to some tricks lately.
What do you mean?
Never mind. But I think he's dangerous, and the only reason I bring him up is to warn you that unless you cooperate with me, unless you become my friend, I will destroy your friend.
You wouldn't do that.
Oh, yes, I keep my promises, too. And unless you come with me now, I will kill him.
Oh, no, I couldn't live without him. Give me my coat.
Oh, no. I will assist you as a good escort should. There. Now you see why it's going to be a proper evening, and you'll be the most pampered lady in Desmond.
Where's Emily?
Jean-Paul, I thought you were at the party.
Is Emily all right?
Jean-Paul, would you come into the drawing room? I'd like to speak to you alone.
I thought we were
Alone, Agatha.
He mustn't talk that way to me, Jean-Paul.
Agatha, one moment, please.
Really? Oh, perhaps you were right, Peter, after all. Not to send him to me when I asked. Perhaps I shouldn't be fond of Jean-Paul Desmond at all. But I am.
But you did get my message at the doctor's office.
I did, but it was so unbelievable. When I drove away, I knew that she had died. I knew it.
But she did not die. She is not dead.
Thank God. Without her, I couldn't accept the fact that she would die.
You seem to have a very strong attachment for Miss Blair.
I'm in love with her. I realized that when I was driving, looking for someone to help. I realized that if I should lose Emily, I should lose the most important person in my life. I'm in love with her, Laszlo.
What am I to say under the circumstances? If I seem a bit confused, Jean-Paul, it's because I'm not accustomed to your confidences.
I must see her. Where is she?
She's asleep. I dislike being the bearer of bad news, but the girl is very disturbed. When she woke up, she was weak but serene. Later on in the evening, she became quite hysterical.
Why? What did you do?
I did nothing but treat her with kindness.
She must have been upset about something. Are you sure she was asleep?
Ada gave her a strong sedative. She was most illogical, talking about someone being dead.
Dead?
When she first regained consciousness, she claimed that she had been dead. I mean, it's all so ridiculous. All that happened was she was frightened by a serpent and fainted.
It's not as simple as that. I must talk to Emily. But first, I have the unpleasant task to perform. If Emily is to be well.
Jean-Paul.
Agatha.
If I were you, I'd go to Emily's room and not bother with this.
What do you have to say to me, Jean-Paul? I'm ready. You see?
Agatha, I'm sorry, but it's very important for everyone in this house that you leave.
Leave?
I am sorry, but since you came here, frightening events have taken place.
But they won't. I'll stop them. If it's because of Peter, he'll obey me. You can't make me leave you, Mr. Desmond.
I'm afraid I must, if Emily is to get well.
For her? You can't send me away because of her. I won't go. I won't.
If I were you, Agatha, I would pack your bag and come with me now.